I'm Judea Murray, and here on a positive note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us. Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and News 12 has been shining an extra special spotlight on some of the world's strongest people, those who have battled it. More than 2 decades ago, a woman from Lyndhurst, New York on Long Island found out she had breast cancer. Not only did she fight the vicious disease and conquer it, but she's helped so many others along the way. Let's take a look.
In just 5 days, Gladys Rodriguez and her husband Tony are celebrating a big anniversary. Not their wedding anniversary, but her Cancerversary. Gladys is a 23-year breast cancer survivor.
Every year I remind myself that I'm alive because of that one experience.
That experience the Lindenhurst resident is referring to as her yearly mammogram. She says it was a test she almost rescheduled that year because of a case of jet lag.
There was no cancer in my family. I was just dumbfounded.
The Puerto Rican native went through 36 sessions of radiation, the removal of lymph nodes, and a lumpectomy. It was 5 days after surgery, Gladys says a volunteer from the American Cancer Society's Reach to Recovery program came to her door. Gladys says it was that visit that day that gave her hope that she was going to beat the disease.
She came in and she told me I'm a breast cancer survivor with 12 years. And it was like my whole world opened up.
Since her recovery, the mother of 3 and grandmother of 7 has been volunteering for the same program.
See.
Being bilingual, Gladys also talks to many people in the Spanish community about the importance of early detection. Gladys says it's crucial because that's what saved her life.
My oldest granddaughter is 19, the youngest is 8. So I get to enjoy all this, and I never would have.
Over in the Bronx, it rained cold, hard cash for one of our beloved heroes from the front line. The Live with Kelly and Ryan show awarded this nurse $100,000 to pay off his student loans. So what makes this guy so special, you ask? Well, you're just going to have to watch his story.
We just thought we'd let you know that you are the winner, and we are giving you $100,000 towards paying off your student loans.
I almost cried.
Josie Perpignan Jr. is a husband, a dad of 2, and a registered nurse at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Now he's also a healthcare hero with a lot less student loan debt weighing him down.
I thought I was going to pass out at first because, I always worry about my student loan debt. I had $130,000, so I always worry about it.
The Live with Kelly and Ryan show realized Josie stood out from the rest after his friend Erica nominated him secretly.
As coronavirus ravaged through New York City, Josie took action for the residents of his neighborhood.
When he wasn't working 12-hour shifts in the hospital in the midst of the pandemic, he grocery shopped for seniors in his community, picked up their medicine, and gave out PPE supplies to people in need.
I'm just there for them throughout this emotional roller coaster.
Josie tells us he plans on spending his next chapter of his life spending more time with his family, thankful for knowing his long hours of hard work and endless time serving his community paid off.
Sounds easy, but it wasn't, but I made it work and I had a lot of support. And that's what I always wanted to do from young, so I had to make it happen.
Well, blessings must have gone on sale recently because there's a woman in Connecticut who says she nearly died after battling breast cancer not once, but twice. And you won't believe what she's doing with her new lease on life.
In the middle of the night, I had an itch and I found a lump.
58-year-old Lori Boersma says she was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012.
And
she beat it, but it came back 4 years later and more aggressively. This time, Boersma suffered from all kinds of complications.
I went from the flu to pneumonia to sepsis, and then my kidneys failed.
She eventually had brain swelling. Her daughter thought this was the last picture she would ever take with her mother.
They told my daughter, there's no way when you wake up in the morning, your mom will be gone.
Boersma was flown from Norwalk Hospital to Yale, New Haven, and was put into an induced coma.
I went into the hospital in the beginning of March. It was cold and snowy, and I woke up and it was 80 degrees.
Boersma says with a lot of luck, she survived. She went through rehab and has been cancer-free ever since.
My positive attitude, I think, really helped me recover because I was determined.
Boersma says 6 months after she walked out of rehab, she went skiing in Vermont.
Life is awesome. It's amazing how much I've changed.
Boersma now rows with other cancer survivors at the Saugatuck Rowing Club 3 days a week.
There's still hope. You can't give up hope. If I had given up hope, and if I had sat on my couch saying, oh, poor me, oh, wham, wham, I wouldn't be here today.
If you think you're good at chess, it's probably because you've never played with Jessica Hyatt. Head on over to Brooklyn, and it's a complete celebration over this teen's money-making moves.
The sophomore from Success Academy Charter School is a winner, a queen of the game with the confidence of a dominant player.
When I play my openings, it's aggressive. Like if my opponent makes like a certain move, like a bad move, it's basically over for them. I would wipe them off the board.
Her teacher telling us on Zoom the game is underrepresented and that Hyatt is growing into a role model for other young chess players on the path to become the first African-American female chess master, someone for girls like her to look up to.
Jessica doesn't have that person though. There is no person for Jessica to have that person to look up to, but the really special thing that Jessica has in front of her is she has the opportunity to become that person.
The student is ranked in the top 10 of black female chess players in the country and just received a $40,000 scholarship for her hard work. She's not just a winner on the chessboard, but is taking her skills learned in the game and applying them to life.
The more patient you are, the more willing you are to look at what different routes you can take and to try to weigh those routes and how they're going to affect. That obviously is going to help your position to be much better in chess and in life, of course, as well, especially when you're young.
Success Academy offers a chess curriculum, and students fly all over the country to play in tournaments.
I adore her confidence. That's what it looks like when you know your worth and ed tax. Well, as we continue to honor the brave this Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's important that we don't just stop at those who have already overcome. In fact, this next story is so powerful, not because it has a clean, happy ending, but because its main character refuses to let her book be written for her. Let's take a look.
I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer.
Janet Torres from Norwalk says she was first diagnosed in 2002. She says she beat it, but the cancer came back in 2012, now in the center of her chest.
It's not operable, so they cannot open because if they open, cancer is spread everywhere.
Torres has to wear a brace because the cancer is affecting one of her main nerves.
The pain was excruciating.
Now she goes for chemotherapy treatments at St. Vincent's Medical Center in Bridgeport every month.
I want to live and go on with my life.
Torres says living with cancer has been very scary.
When we don't know anything about cancer and you are diagnosed, you feel like lost.
It all starts with getting out there and getting a screening mammogram.
Doctors like Sarah Dose at the Harvard Healthcare Cancer Institute at St. Vincent's Medical Center say breast cancer is the most common cause of cancer-related deaths among Hispanic women in Connecticut.
There's certain barriers to access to high-quality care in a timely manner. There may be language barriers, there may be cultural differences, and a lack of cultural awareness.
And I am very close to God, and I think that this is the way, and I can fight this big fight.
Dr. Dose says it's important to educate women like Torres, who, as she is doing her best to survive each day, she says she hopes she can also inspire others.
Be there for other people and for other women that they don't know what to do.
And that brings us into today's Did You Know, full of new knowledge you'll be happier for knowing. Did you know that a man from our tri-state recently made his way into the Guinness World Records? Craig Pinto of Mineola, New York sets his 4th world record by making 149 field goals in just 1 hour. That's a whole lot of kicking. Not only did Pinto get the record, but he made $80,000 while doing it. The money he raised will be used to fight celiac disease.
40 yarders too, you're really trying every single time, right? So it's like you're putting full force in.
How do you feel the next day?
The next day is pretty brutal. The next couple of days, it's like, you kind of like, it's like, little wobbly legs, like a little bit of like a baby deer syndrome for a little while, and you take the stairs very carefully, but a couple weeks you're good.